We've heard horror stories of people drowning in credit card debt. But we've also heard stories of people flying for free or getting new appliances thanks to the points or the miles they've racked up through their credit card. So as a finance geek myself, I've been asked a lot, should I get myself a credit card? And if so, how do I choose one? Hi, my name is Enrique Fausto, Chief Financial Architect at IFE, where we make investing for everyone. And today, we'll talk about credit cards. First things first, what is a credit card? A credit card is a piece of plastic given by the bank which gives you the privilege, not the right, the privilege to go to any store, show them that piece of plastic and tell them, hey, you know what? I'll pay for this later, but can I have it now? Whether it's goods, services, here or abroad, that's the power of a credit card. It's simply an IOU. I'll get it now, I'll pay for it later. One of my favorite analogies for this is the difference of going to a fast food restaurant and going to a fine dining restaurant. When you go to a fast food restaurant, it's like paying in cash. The only time you can get your food is after you've paid in cash. In contrast, when you go to a fine dining restaurant, you can go there, order all the food, eat all the food, and only after will you then have to settle the payment and then pay. So that's what the credit card does. It allows you to enter a fine dining kind of arrangement wherein you pay later. Right? So now that you know what the credit card is, the next question is, should I or should I not get a credit card? The way to do that is to first weigh the pros and cons. What are the pros? First off, it is a cash substitute. In case you're going to be buying something expensive, whether it's a new cell phone or a laptop, you don't need to lug around so much cash. You can simply give the credit card and use that to pay. It also helps when you are cash strapped and there's an emergency that you have to pay for quickly. Or if you are traveling abroad and you don't have your foreign currency cash, then at least you can use the credit card. Typically, as long as it's MasterCard, Visa, it will be accepted. Second benefit is it helps you build a credit history. What do I mean by that? It simply gives the bank the chance to actually test if you are worthy to lend money to. And this is pretty important if you later on decide to take a bigger loan for a big purchase like a car or maybe a real estate or a house. For you to do so, the bank has to hold on to something to tell them, this guy does know how to deal with debt and he'll probably pay me back. Because look at his credit card history. He's always paid in full and always paid on time. So that's the second one, building a credit history. Last and definitely not the least is you get rewards, cashbacks, and other benefits when you have a credit card, depending on the specific card that you choose. Some of them pay you 1% on everything or as high as 5% on others, depending on the specific category, or others rack up points or even miles, which will give you a lot of freebies down the road. So of course, there are pros. So now let's move on to the cons. First cons is the charge or the costs. Whenever you have a credit card debt, what happens is, if you don't pay it in full on time, there will be interest charges as much as 2% per month. What does it mean? If you wait around for a year, you will essentially be paying 24% additional charge to the credit card company. So you're giving them a 24% return on you and you're losing 24% from your own savings. There are also other fees, whether late payment fees, going over the credit limit, there is a corresponding fee, and all of these other charges. Another con, I would say, is the debt issue. Because if you don't pay it in full, it keeps growing by 2% every month, and it may come to a point wherein someone, like a regular guy on the street, may have a credit card debt as big as 6 or even 7 digits just because they allowed it to keep growing. So that's another issue. You may find yourself in like a debt pile if you don't pay it right away. And the third and the last con is this idea of the pain of paying. The pain of paying is actually an occurrence which behavioral economists have found, wherein depending on how you pay for something, whether through cash or credit card, the pain of paying is a little bit different. If you pay in cash, you feel the pain. I'm losing bills, my wallet is getting more empty. So then you're probably gonna hold yourself back from completely wiping out your wallet. On the other hand, when you give a credit card, you give the whole piece of plastic in full and you get the entire thing back. It feels like you didn't lose anything. So the con of that is you might be spending more than you would have if you paid in cash. If you want to learn more about that, check the article in the description. So those are the three cons. And the way to think about it and the way to weigh it is answer this question. Are you responsible enough to pay in full and on time all the time? Right? If you have some hesitation, maybe it's not a good time to get a credit card. But if you know that, yes, I'm already there, I can do it, I want to get the rewards, and I'm willing to be disciplined about it, and I respect the credit card, then let's jump right in. Next question. Now that we know that you're responsible enough, how do I choose a credit card? First things first, you want to understand that credit cards generally fall under three categories. Number one, you have your cashback or rebate credit cards, wherein for every spend, you get a little bit of it back based on the different terms and conditions of the card. Second are rewards cards. As you use the card, you rack up some points, and the points can then convert to some freebies, whether appliances or gadgets and all these other things. Third is the miles card, which are a kind of reward card wherein the difference is instead of points, what you get are actually flyer miles, wherein you can actually fly for free to a certain destination depending on the number of miles you've racked up using the card. So how do you know which one works best for you? When we've looked at cashbacks, there are different kinds. We've seen cards based on our research which give 1% cash rebate on everything. No terms, no conditions, no caps. That's for someone who probably has a varied, different kinds of expenses, nothing too specific. We've seen other cards which go very category specific, which give us high as 6% cash back on specific things such as groceries, or maybe 3% cash back on fuel from a specific gas station. So then you'll see, based on your expenses, if you want to just get the money back just in cash, then cashback might be for you. Second would be the rewards cards. Now the rewards cards are pretty cool in the sense that you may actually get freebies. For example, a new appliance or a refrigerator, or maybe special deals at dining at certain restaurants. You get a free dessert, you get a free additional dish. These are the kinds of things you may see in rewards cards. However, I'll always warn against, you have to know what specific rewards this card will give you before you jump the gun, right? And you have to know that with these kinds of rewards, it depends on the bank. They may or may not change the rewards over time. And lastly would be your miles. So these are for your travelers. I know you haven't been able to travel as much, but it's just a matter of time when we'll all be traveling again. And once we do, it would be pretty cool if we had a credit card which will give us miles so we can then travel for free. We've seen cards which are very airline specific, only with PAL, only with Cebu Pacific. We've seen some that go across, right? But what you want to get is a credit card which is based on the kind of traveler that you are. Are you looking at more local? Then maybe a Cebu Pacific type link card would make more sense versus, let's say, a PAL, right? So those are the three broad categories, and the way to figure out what makes sense for you is to look at what are your expenses like, right? Because the credit card company actually earns money through two ways. First is the interest charge. As I mentioned a while ago, if you don't pay it in full, you have to pay them. But they earn in a second way, which is called the merchant discount rate. Whenever you use your credit card at, let's say, a restaurant or any establishment, they will have to pay, that establishment has to pay a certain percentage of whatever you swipe to the credit card company. And because of that, they should be giving you something. So a few things to watch out for. You have to check, does the card charge any annual fees? Because in all honesty, I think you should never be paying annual fees because they're already making money through either your late payments or if they charge you interest cost, or second, from the merchant discount rate. And because of that, I think you should be trying to get rewards, points, cashbacks from them in return for being able to earn that kind of money. Okay, so to summarize, how do you choose a credit card? If you're someone who loves traveling, a lot of your spending goes into traveling, then maybe a miles card would make sense for you. If you're someone who knows specifically what rewards they want, what certain freebies in restaurants, in clothing stores or online stores, and you already know, okay, this is exactly what I want, then a rewards card makes sense for you. But if you're someone like me who spends on different things and I just want a numerical cash back, just give me back the money, lessen my credit card bill, then maybe a cashback credit card would be the best for you. But in the end, it's only you that can be the one to say it. So do your research, look through different banks, and check what makes sense given your financial situation today. So just to recap, first off, should you or should you not get a credit card? Only if you can handle it responsibly. Can you pay in full? Can you pay on time? If not, don't bother. And if you are responsible enough, look at the 3 categories, choose which one makes sense for you. And then once you do your research. Look at across the different banks to make sure that you're able to get the best rewards, points, cashbacks, miles, conversion that you can get. So I hope that helps. Tune in next time for another video here at IFE Management. Once again, this is Enrique Fausto, Chief Financial Architect at IFE. See you soon.